see Brian.
Brian Ramatke, he was the one running the documents.
All right.
I was just on the phone with him. I know he knows about it.
Mhm.
Is he?
Okay.
Is it possible he's in the attendees?
Ooh, I hope not. He thought he received his invite from Maria.
What's the name?
He is not,
Brian.
he's
there-
not in the, oh,
Brian
there he is in the
Ramatke.
attendance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe you can give him a quick call
There
and
should be
text him.
two, both Brians. think.
I just promoted him to a panelist.
Oh, here he comes. Good.
There he is. Yeah.
Folks, that's that's why I'm here.
Here we go.
Brian
Good to
from
go?
Brian from WT Rich should also be.
I think not.
Hello, everybody.
Alex is also there as well.
Yeah,
All right.
Alex is representing WT Rich this evening.
Alex, are you there, panelist?
He needs to be promoted.
Yeah, he's a panelist. He raised his hand.
That's an attendee, isn't it?
Yeah, he's an attendee. He needs to be promoted to a panelist.
Okay, terrific.
There you go.
Give him a certificate.
Perfect.
Alex, all right. Good. Well,
I've been promoted.
can we call this thing to order and begin with a roll call? Chris, if you would.
Yes. So Jonathan Pope isn't here yet. Richard Sapphire,
Yes.
thank you. Greg Carter-Martori,
Yes.
thank you. Kathy Clancy.
Yes.
Thank you. Donna Compton,
Yes.
thank you. John Dunn, I don't know if I saw him.
Not yet.
Okay, not yet, thank you. Gary Frisch,
Yes.
thank you. Matthew Fusco,
Yep.
thank you. Grant Harris,
Yes.
thank you. Joe Lucido,
Yes.
thank you. Ben Lummis,
Yes.
thank you. Jameson Manning,
Yes. Hello.
thank you. Amy Pasquarello,
Yes.
thank you. Adam Roselle,
Yes.
thank you. And Katie Eunice, I don't know if I saw her. Nope. Okay. Thank you.
I don't think she'll be coming tonight, Chris.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Chris. We move on to the approval of minutes and a vote to approve the East Gloucester Veterans Memorial Project meeting minutes of March the 25th, 2021. Can we have a motion, a second, and then a discussion for whether there needs to be any amendments?
So moved.
Is there a second? Thank you. Any discussion?
Just discussion that I think the minutes lately have been very well done.
Okay, kudos, terrific. And I presume that we need another roll call vote on the motion, please, Mr. Tremblay?
Yes, just real quick, I did miss who did the second.
Adam Roselle.
Thank you, madam. Okay, perfect.
I read them. I actually read them.
Yeah, it's hard to see. There's a lot of people on the call, so it's hard to see which ones are talking. So thank you, appreciate it. Roll call vote. Richard Sapphire,
Yes.
thank you. Greg Carter-Martori,
Yes.
thank you. Kathy Clancy,
Yes.
thank you. Donna Compton,
Yes.
thank you. Gary Frisch,
Yes.
thank you. Matt Fusco,
Yes.
thank you. Grant Harris,
Yes.
thank you. Joe Lucido,
I will have to abstain. I was not present.
okay, thank you. Ben Lummis,
Yes.
thank you. Jameson Manning,
I was also not present.
okay, thank you. Amy Pasquarello,
Yes.
thank you. And Adam Roselle,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, so the motion carries. Thank you very much. That brings us next to the approval of the minutes. I'm sorry, not the approval of the minutes, but rather the approval of the invoices. And the first invoice is from CBRE Heary. It's dated March the 25th, 2000. I'm in the wrong place. Hello. There we go. Dorn with you.
If I could share my screen, I have the information on there.
Okay, who has access to enabling?
Maria?
Brian, you should already be a co-host, so you should be able to share.
Right here. Okay, can you see the screen with the beautiful new school?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, let me get to my controls. Okay. All right, so we have the agenda, meeting minutes. Okay, and yes, Doran Whittier invoice. Okay. Yeah, so this is the Doran Whittier invoice that was submitted.
That's not what, we're not seeing the
no.
invoice, Brian.
We're looking at the agenda at the moment.
Okay. Oh, that's weird. Huh. Okay, it's all changing here in front of me.
Hmm.
Let me let's do it a little different here. I will just. Let's see.
If need be, I can put it up as well, I presume.
Well, I have other information to share.
Yeah, of course,
after
of
that.
course.
So. Let's see if I can. Not sure why this is giving me trouble. Well, okay, let's try this. Okay, do you see the agenda now?
Yes.
Okay, so there we go, meeting minutes. Okay, we'll just do it this way. So yeah, this is the invoice from Doran Whittier that we received. We did take a look at it and review it, and everything was in order. They are billing for just over $206,000 for the DD work. They have submitted the DD drawings. We have submitted the DD package to the MSBA. There's still about 10% remaining, and that'll cover the additional time that needs to be spent on responding to the comments from the MSBA, which should be forthcoming within the next few weeks. The other part is for the early release package. That has gone out to WT Rich and is currently being bid. So that's pretty much complete. There will be an addendum that'll be issued. So there's a little bit remaining for that as well. So yeah, we're fine with the invoice and we can take a vote on that.
All right, then, is there a motion to approve invoice number 0023? And I believe it is for a total amount of $215,000, $215,760. Is there a motion for that?
I make a
moved.
motion for that.
Okay, and a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Chris?
Yep, I'll do the roll call vote. Sapphire,
Yes.
thank you. Greg Kettermatori. Greg? Hop off. Okay. I'll skip. Kathy Clancy,
Yes.
thank you. Donna Compton,
Yes.
thank you. Gary Frisch,
Yes.
thank you. Matt Fusco,
Yes.
thank you. Grant Harris,
Yes.
thank you. Joe Lucido,
Yes.
thank you. Ben Lummis,
Yes.
thank you. Jameson Manning,
Yes.
thank you. Amy Pasquarello,
Yes.
thank you. And Adam Roselle,
Yes.
thank you. All
Thank
set.
you very
Sorry,
much.
sorry, Chris, if that was the motion on invoice 23, my Zoom kicked out and I vote yes.
Thank you. Perfect timing, Greg. Appreciate it.
Okay, we have one more invoice here for review. This is invoice from WT Rich. This is their standard monthly invoice for pre-construction services, the same as you've seen each month prior, for a total of $15,412. So if we can vote on that.
Terrific. Is there a motion to approve invoice number 4 dated March 31st, 2021 for a total of $15,412?
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Anyone?
I'll second it. Ben can second it.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, Chris, once again, please.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Richard Sapphire,
Yes.
Thank you. Greg Cameratory.
Yes.
Thank you. Kathy Clancy.
Yes.
Thank you. Donna Compton.
Yes.
Thank you. Gary Frisch.
Yes.
Thank you. Matt Fusco.
Yes.
Thank you. Grant Harris.
Yes.
Thank you. Joe Lucido.
Yes.
Thank you. Ben Lemus.
Yes.
Thank you. Jameson Manning.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you. Amy Pascarello.
Yes.
Thank you. And Adam Rosell.
Yes.
Thank you. All set.
Terrific. And I believe that completes our approval of invoices for this particular meeting. Moving on to reports, deliberations, and discussions. Item A is an approval for updated organizational chart. Who would like to kick that off?
That would be me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So as you know, Brian and I have been assigned to the project, which has been pretty cool for both of us. It's a great team, and we're going to help you to deliver another successful project. So with some of the adjustments in CBRE Heary and Tom Ellis's departure, so I have been assigned as the project director, and Brian has been assigned as the design phase manager, as well as to continue on as the project manager during the construction phase. Dennis Pacitti, who's working for me now at the Beverly Police Station, was and will continue to be assigned and start the on-site project representative construction oversight role when the early package work starts on site, roughly the first part of August. So that's the change organizationally. In addition, we have with us here this evening Bob Monzer. Bob Monzer is the managing director for CBRE, who I now report to. So just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware that there is someone that I report to above me, to whom which you guys would have access in the event there was any issues or communications or correspondence or anything that needed to go above, my pay grade. So I don't know, Bob, if you just want to take a moment just to introduce yourself. I know you've got another commitment coming right up, so you can't stay on the call all that long. But if Brian and I do a real good job like we've promised, you may have limited involvement.
Sounds good. Good evening, everybody. Just a little background on me. I spent my entire career with Heary, now CBRE Heary. So I've been around the country, and I was actually one of the ones that opened our office in Massachusetts back in the late 80s. And worked on both the State House and schools in Fall River, lived in Revere and Easton, and I'm looking forward to a successful project for you guys.
And just for complete disclosure, when I was hired by Heary in 2004, I was actually reporting to Bob, working down in his region on a big school project down in New Jersey. So I've known Bob the full, almost 17 years that I've worked for Heary.
And we've done a lot of schools.
We sure have. As many or more than pretty much anyone. And we've never, ever on any of our school projects missed a school opening. So all that being said, we have to send this package off to MSBA, but we can only do that with your approval. So I'm seeking a motion to, approve the amended org chart as shown.
Okay. Anyone care to make that motion? And we have the names of those who would be elevated into the specific positions with the update. So then is there a motion to approve this updated organizational chart?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Discussion.
I just want to make a quick point. I'm very happy that Mark just made this announcement that my old friend Dennis Pacitti would be joining the team.
But he's always been on the team. He was
Okay.
the one that was in the proposal.
Okay, so perfect, because I worked with Dennis back in Manchester, so I spent 4 or 5
All
years
right.
with him in the trenches. So this is
Mhm.
I'll be very happy to see an old friend come back in.
And then if you did that, you know how good and capable he is.
Oh, absolutely, 1000%.
Good,
So
I'm glad-
that makes me happy. I'm sorry I missed it before, but like I said, this is great for the team,
Yes.
great for the city.
I'm glad you were able to share that with the team, because he does play a key role. And again, he and I worked together on the Beverly Middle School, which was, $90+ million construction project. We returned a bunch of money to the city and certainly delivered it on time. And quite a lot of that was the day-to-day efforts of Dennis in the field.
Great, thank you.
Any other comments or discussion? Okay, and Chris, if you're taking the minutes, obviously you'll want to add the specific names as shown, as Mark had mentioned, to the motion, correct?
Yes, and I'll make sure to also have the attachment to it.
Thank you. Alrighty then, a roll call vote on the approval for updated organizational chart.
Yes. Richard Sapphire.
Yes.
Thank you. Greg Carter-McCrory.
Yes.
Thank you. Kathy Clancy.
Yes.
Thank you. Donna Compton.
Yes.
Thank you. Gary Frisch.
Yes.
Thank you. Matt Fusco.
Yes.
Thank you. Grant Harris.
Yes.
Thank you. Joe Lucido.
Yes.
Thank you. Ben Lummis.
Yes.
Thank you. Jameson Manning.
Yes.
Thank you. Amy Pasquarello.
Yes.
Thank you. And Adam Roselle.
Yes.
Thank you. All set.
Terrific. Thank you. Motion has been approved. Are there any other organizational changes that we're anticipating at this time before we move on to the next section?
Not that I'm aware of.
Kathy?
I have a couple that I want to ask about. Is Ryan still on our org chart officially with the MSBA? Because I know it was announced a month ago or so that he was no longer part of the building committee because of his role on the city side. So do we have, that gets reflected in anything that's submitted to the MSBA?
Yeah, what should happen is we can work together and prepare an updated building committee member list. You should have submitted early on in your feasibility study or eligibility period a form that has all the building committee
Yes.
members and the roles that they play.
Yeah, several went in actually with modifications. Yeah.
Yeah, we just need to submit another one, an updated one, and that will take care of that.
Okay, I also would like, probably think it's an appropriate time to add a co-chair, so, of the superintendent. So I would like to make a motion to add Superintendent Ben Lummis as co-chair of the school building committee.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Give us a little background on this, Kath?
Well, the background is, in my opinion, I think it's appropriate for the superintendent to have a leadership role, and, along with the school committee chair. I think it's a good way to keep good control over the project and communication about the project.
Terrific. Any other discussion?
I would also like to add that it's good to have somebody that has a direct link to, the administration of the school and secretarial resources, et cetera, website resources. So I think that's important to have been tied in as the co-chair.
Good. Okay. Any other comments before we vote? Alrighty, Chris, if you could do the roll call vote on establishing the Mr. Lummis as the co-chair for the school building committee.
Yes. Jonathan Pope.
Yeah.
Thank you. Richard Sapphire.
Yes.
Thank you. Greg Carter-McCrory.
Yes.
Thank you. Kathy Clancy.
Yes.
Thank you. Donna Compton.
Yes.
Thank you. Gary Frisch.
Yes.
Thank you. Matt Fusco.
Yes.
Thank you. Grant Harris.
Yes.
Thank you. Joe Lucido.
Yes.
Thank you. Ben Lummis.
I'll abstain.
Yeah. I hesitated there for a second.
It's funny.
You're not a politician.
Thank you. Jameson Manning.
Yeah, definitely yes.
Thank you. Amy Pascarello.
Yes.
Thank you. And Adam Rosell.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All set.
Okay, great. Motion carries. Jonathan, we're up to Roman numeral 4, letter B, approval for Multi Vista to perform pre-construction surveys.
Sure. So with respect to that, we've had numerous conversations about pre-construction surveys where they go out to the local community homes and do an exterior and, if given permission, an interior survey so that we can document the pre-project condition in the event that there are any claims or concerns. So right now, Multi Vista is a subconsultant to CBRE Heary to provide the photo documentation services to the project. So as a streamlined approach, we reached out to them to get a proposal to provide the pre-construction survey services. This is something that they've been doing for a while now. And we received a proposal. The proposal is, what is it, $34,400, not to exceed. It's likely that that number will not come in that high because in Multi Vista's experience and in W.T. Rich's experience, there are a reasonable number of folks who opt only to have the exterior survey done. And for reasons, due to COVID or whatever, they do not participate in the interior survey. So the $34,400 includes full scope, inside and out, for all of the homes that were identified on the graphic, where, if I can remind folks, we set the limit at 250 feet, but then we added some homes where it kind of made sense in the same, vicinity. So we're looking for approval for that, but again, it's not to exceed. And once we send the letters out, and once folks know, opt either in or out of the interior survey, we'll be able to get a revised number that will reflect the actual scope delivered. So we're looking for a motion that we can add that to the CBRE Heary scope of services, and an amendment will be done for the actual price once we determine it.
Okay, thank you. Then is there, prior to any discussion, is there a motion for Multi Vista to perform pre-construction surveys for the project?
So moved.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
Great. Any discussion, any questions? Okay, hearing or seeing none. Chris, one more time.
Jonathan Pope.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Richard Sapphire.
Yes.
Thank you. Greg Cameratory.
Yes.
Thank you. Kathy Clancy.
Yes.
Thank you. Donna Compton.
Yes.
Thank you. Gary Frisch.
Yes.
Thank you. Matt Fusco.
Yes.
Thank you. Grant Harris.
Yes.
Thank you. Joe Lucido.
Yes.
Thank you. Ben Lummis.
Yes.
Thank you. Jameson Manning.
Yes.
Thank you. Amy Pascarello.
Yes.
Thank you. And Adam Rosell.
Yes.
All set. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much. Motion carries. And we move on next to Doran Whittier to begin the construction document phase, another topic that will require school building committee approval. Who would like to provide us with an explanation? Is that you, Alex?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, Brian.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, this is just the approval for the MSBA for Doran Whittier to continue work doing the construction documents. So they've done a great job so far. And we need to keep going. So that's really what that's for.
Okay, terrific. Is there a motion then to approve that Doran Whittier begin the construction document phase?
So moved.
Second.
And thank you very much. Any discussion? Okay, Chris?
Busy day for note-taking on motions. Thank you. Jonathan Pope,
Did he freeze on us?
Oh, I don't see him on
Yeah, I
the.
think he's frozen.
Buddy
No, I,
dropped up. I'll come back.
Okay.
Richard Sapphire,
Yes.
thank you. Greg Cameratori,
Yes.
thank you. Kathy Clancy,
Yes.
thank you. Donna Compton,
Yes.
thank you. Gary Frisch,
yes.
thank you. Matt Fusco,
Yes.
thank you. Grant Harris,
Yes.
thank you. Joe Lucido,
Yes.
thank you. Ben Lummis. Ben?
Yes.
Yep,
Yes.
thank you. Jameson Manning,
Yes.
thank you. Amy Pasquarello,
Yes.
thank you. Adam Roselle,
Yes.
thank you. And Jonathan Pope?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you. All set.
Terrific. Motion is approved. And now we'll have an update from our updated OPM. Mark?
Great.
Actually, Brian's going to have, we're trying to share this to some extent. So Brian knows more about some of the details.
Terrific. Thank you.
Been a lot of voting.
No vote on this one.
So yeah, this is just a brief update. First of all, this is the overall schedule that we're looking at. Our schedule continues to remain on track. We've had a number of activities that have transpired recently that you see identified here in green. We successfully sent out the submission to MSBA for the design development package. We received the notice concerning MIPA for the environmental impact, and we do not need to do a report on that. So that helps free up some space that we had in the schedule. The EP1 package has been issued to WT Rich for bidding. Bidding is going to be completed by mid-April. We also had the site walkthrough, I think that was yesterday. And we can now begin construction documents. That'll take us through the beginning of June. And so those are kind of the main topics that are ongoing right now with the schedule. We have our next school building committee meeting then in May, and then we'll also be submitting the report to the MSBA next week from the OPM. So those are kind of the main activities that are going on right now, but everything is on track and we continue to be on schedule with that. The next item, unless anyone has any questions about the main schedule. No?
Brian, is it possible, I know you're having trouble before, to put that in presentation mode, just because it's hard to see that?
Yeah, it wasn't working before. I can try again.
Hey, we just give it a shot.
Yeah, nothing's, when I click here, you know, I guess you can see my cursor. So if I click here on the icon.
Yep, okay, thank you for trying.
Okay. Do you have any specific questions though that I can answer other than enlarging it?
No, it's just hard to see, that's all.
Okay, yeah, I apologize about that. Okay, so this is a little bit of an update on St. Anne. So in the past couple weeks, we've had a lot of momentum getting various things pulled together. This schedule was created. This is just the draft version. So we're going to be updating some of the details over the next week. So you can see first part and the second part here. So the items that are highlighted here in yellow and green, these are the ones that are currently active. So we're working together with the school department to get the furniture that's stored there now out of St. Anne's so that we can verify the remaining items of work that will need to be completed. We're conducting conversations with the contractors to make sure everyone knows, you know, what work needs to be done. And also looking then on who we're going to be working with for a mover on the project. So there's a lot of different pieces that are coming together. Right now, the item that's kind of driving the schedule is getting all of the furniture out of St. Anne's so that we can get the final evaluation and get the work going in there. But the good thing is that all the activities are tracking to coincide with the scheduled activities, meaning that everything from veterans should be removed by the August 1st date so that WT Rich can access the site, and that St. Anne's should be all set up and ready to go in advance of the beginning of school, which I'm trying to see what that date is on here, but there we go, next slide.
Do we have a sense of how much time teachers will have to set up and get organized prior to the start of school?
So based on this schedule, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Brian.
I was saying based on what we have here in the schedule, the way it lays out now, that would give them about 2 weeks before school starts.
That'd be fine. Thank you.
Does that works, Ben?
That's great. Yes.
I have just, John Dunn got a hold of me this afternoon and said that the mayor has signed the lease. It's been sent off to Boston, and they expect it back. And he also said that the St. Vincent space will not be available.
That's unfortunate, but
yes,
you know, not everything goes our way this year.
Okay, well, we can make those adjustments. So that's all I have for the St. Anne's, unless anyone has any questions.
I just have a question. Can I ask a question about the Vincent de Paul space? Maybe someone knows, but is it locked up during the day? Is that how it works? Or are there people coming in and out to access it?
From my knowledge as a community member, people access it through those steps on the outside.
And wasn't it only on weekends?
Yeah, and it's open on the weekends. I think Saturday mornings.
Yeah, so I don't think there's going to be any intrusion, Matt.
And I don't know when people go into work at it, set it up or whatever, but I know it was Saturday morning.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you very much, Brian. That brings us next to an update from the designer. Michelle, is that you?
It is me, but I think we've covered almost all of this so far, with maybe the exception of the permitting piece of this. So the EP1 early release package has gone out. We're working on an addendum to that, as Brian has mentioned. We're also following up with some questions that have come in today and some more that we're expecting later this week. And then it goes back out with a second addendum back to WT Rich. They can speak a little bit more about that afterwards. Permitting, we have begun our permitting process. We have submitted to the Conservation Commission, and we are looking to file for our special permit for height. And we're going to continue that process through the month of April and a portion of May. We hope to have most of our permitting all set and ready to go by the end of June, if not sooner than that. As far as construction documents, we have started those. As soon as we released our DD set, we start our construction documents. So we have a 60% set, as most of you know, that will go out for cost estimating again, we'll get reconciled again, we'll verify once more that we're on budget. We then have a 90% construction document set that goes through the same process. We develop the drawings, submit them to the cost estimators for estimating. And then we actually have 100%, which happens typically after you start the construction. But all of that keeps us well within our budget and make sure that we're staying on budget. And our schedule is indicating that we will start. I believe that the date for taking over the site is still early August, and that will set us up perfectly for your moving into the school in September of 2023.
Okay, sounds like smooth sailing. Any questions for Michelle? All good. Thank you very much. CM update, please.
So Alex will be presenting tonight, and I think, Alex, do you have the items on your screen?
Can you hear me all right? Fine.
Yes.
Yes.
I have slides. I can try to share them, see if that works.
Okay, so I stopped sharing my screen, so you should have access to it.
Okay, let's see here. Can you guys see that all right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. So hi, everyone. Good to see you all again. So as you may or may not know, from the sounds of it, everyone kind of knows, we've started the early bid package 1 procurement through the process. Similar to what we did on West Parish, it kind of springboards our schedule, construction schedule. So we're able to get on site earlier. It's a little more pressure on Doran Whittier, but it kind of helps us, like I said, to springboard the demolition, which is sort of a straightforward design package. So as you can see on the screen, we've got a couple items that are part of this early package 1. The demolition and abatement, obviously pretty straightforward, of the existing school. And then we've got a site prep and enabling package, which basically kind of gets the site going for us as we begin the ground improvements process and ultimately grade raise and foundation. So what we've typically done on a lot of these projects is hire a site contractor for a small scope of work. Like I said, essentially just to clear the site for us, get rid of any underground structures, and basically enable the site to continue with work ahead. So this is sort of the all-encompassing ERP1 package that we have. We'll have some temp power to provide to the building as well as our trailers. And then we'll get the trailers set up, fencing, erosion control, all that stuff. So we put together just a couple snippets from the design package, just kind of showing the utilities, the underground structures that we will be taking care of as part of this early package. So you can see there's a couple drain lines that run through the site and actually under the building. That'll be part of this package just to get rid of, as well as some temp electric, obviously the site lights, getting those salvaged and removed. And then overhead wires, the gas, the electric, all the stuff that goes to the building will be cut and capped as part of this phase. And as part of that site enabling piece to this, we are planning on having the site contractor that we hire set up some temporary swales, help with drainage. As you guys know, it's sort of a bowl over there. So we're concerned that a lot of the runoff from the water and the rain that you'll get could lead to some drainage issues and some flooding on site. So our plan is to strategically, and this kind of came from the civil engineer, was to set up sort of this perimeter or moat, if you want to call it, just to capture a lot of that runoff from the hills and ultimately drain it sort of east and out of the site. So we feel like this will be a key step to kind of, again, opening up the site and making it usable for us as we begin, ERP work, which includes site and concrete foundations, ground improvements. This is our overall control budget for ERP1. So as you can see, we've broken out costs associated with the scope of work. Basically, the first check mark in this whole process kind of starts with ERP1 and making sure we're on budget. Hopefully, we're under this number. We're pretty confident that we'll be at or around this number. And like I said, and we'll get to the next slide, bidding is well underway. I think Brian mentioned that we had a walkthrough yesterday with a good group of contractors, both demo, abatement, and site contractors who are interested in the project. The bids for this package will be due next Friday, and then we'll spend a couple of weeks de-scoping them, getting their scope correct, essentially awarding a letter of recommendation to you guys, which would then be brought to SBC. I think we're targeting May 13th. So that's kind of the big picture plan for ERP1. Again, just think it's sort of an enable to start other construction work. And then I believe over the summer, we'll have an EP2, which includes site, concrete, ground improvements, structural steel as well. So that'll be a much larger package that'll be released over the summer. Anyone have any questions?
Okay,
All right,
very good. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it.
problem.
And that brings us to our communications update. Ben, I presume that you'll present? I think you're muted.
Thank you, Richard. So no slides on this. We are having a community forum for veterans families on Tuesday, the 13th. That is going to help them understand just how we're doing with St. Anne's and also the process of transitioning over there. We're hoping to have a couple of parents from West Parish there to speak about how it went when West Parish was using St. Anne's as swing space. We'll also give them a short design update and talk about a variety of things that are to come. So we'll show them, just the latest info on the building, and also talk about, we'll show them floor plans in terms of like just where different classrooms will be located on which floors. So very basic. And then make sure we also have time for Q&A so they can ask questions that we'll answer if we have the answers to, or make sure we take note of them so we can get answers in the future to folks. But I just want to give them a sort of status update and help them understand how that transition will go, as the school year happens. There's also a public forum, like community forum, which we talked about. I believe it's on May 18th. I think we're having it. Yeah, May 18th. We set the date for that. That is the community neighborhood forum. That is when we will, the project team will give the people who live in the area around vets update on how construction will go. So that's construction safety, construction noise abatement, issues about deliveries and traffic there during construction. Just really give them an understanding. We'll also talk to them about the houses that can be documented in terms of any impact from construction. But we will be working, over the next few weeks, couple weeks, to develop that agenda and presentation, and then also outreach to the community and neighbors to make sure we can get attendance at that. Both meetings will be, on Zoom. Will be virtual meetings. I think those are the biggest pieces right now.
Great. Sounds great. And as far as the April 13th, having parents from the West Parish is a really great move, because prior to the vote, they were some of the most vocal, positive supporters of the project, more so than from East Gloucester or Vets, quite frankly. So to have them part of the package is really a strong plus.
Great.
Terrific.
I think that was Matt's idea.
Yeah. Good work, Matt, wherever you are. Okay, good. That brings us to the end officially of the agenda. Is there anything else that needs to be put on the table or discussed?
Nice to see Alex on our team again.
I think he's sporting a mustache. I'm not sure.
And long hair.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn then?
So move.
Second.
Okay, Chris?
Jonathan Pope,
Yes.
thank you. Richard Sapphire,
Yes.
thank you. Greg Katamortori. Is Greg on? Kathy Clancy,
Yes.
thank you. Donna Compton,
Yes.
thank you. Gary Frisch,
Yes.
thank you. Matt Fusco,
Yes.
thank you. Grant Harris,
Yes.
thank you. Joe Lucido,
Yes.
thank you. Ben Lummis,
Yes.
Thank you. Jamison Manning.
Yes.
Thank you. Amy Pascarello.
Yes.
Thank you. Adam Rosell.
Yes.
And Greg Cameratori. Is he back on? Okay, absent. All set.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Thank everyone for their input, and till next time.
Right, thank
folks.
you very much.
Night, everyone.
Nice evening.
Good night.
Thanks,
Night.
everyone.